And for more on Telstra's NBN regulatory submission, I spoke earlier with Jeremy Mitchell of Telstra.
It's based on the idea that anyone who gets to build this network needs some certainty in this. This is a major investment. This is an investment bigger than the Snowy Mountain scheme. It's an investment that will underpin the Australian economy. Now, you need certainties put into that. If someone's going to give in, between 10, 15, 20 billion dollars to invest in building this network, you need certainties. And what we're saying to the government is, let's make sure the regulatory certainties are there to enable people to know what sort of returns they're going to get. It gives certainty to the people who will build it, but more importantly, it gives certainty to those people who will use the network, whether they be wholesale or retail.
So are there fundamental problems with the regulatory framework as is?
Look, the system now is designed about the old network. What we are talking about is a totally changed, new, modern telecommunications network. It will underpin health, education, our economy. They need new sets of rules. The old rules that we have, or the current rules now, are designed about the old phone networks, what we call the plain old telephone systems, the POTS. What we're talking about is the PANs, the pretty amazing new stuff. This is the sort of services they're going to deliver, a whole range of things that are not possible on the old copper network. So you do need sets of rules, just like when you went from the dirt track to the highway to the freeway in the roads. You need new sets of rules.
Okay, so let's get to some of your suggestions. Telstra, in its submission, says that it is in favour of open access networks.
That has always been the case. We have said constantly, and even though others, our competitors, are saying that we don't believe in it, we've always said this will be an open access network. It means that those people who want a wholesale of us will get the same sort of conditions that our own retail people do. It's proven across the world that you need to have an integrated system to make the investments needed to actually have this happen and have it successful.
Now, I know that hand in hand with the open access, structural separation does come up a lot, and we will get to that in just a minute. But let's just talk about some of the other submissions that you've made, one of which is that the government should not force the network operator to accommodate both old and new technologies. Is this a possibility? What's the problem with that?
Look, this just won't work. You can't have a new system and try and integrate an old system on top of it. You need to actually have one working. If you have the old system running parallel with it, they just are not compatible. And there is no point in doing it. And any world expert will say to you that is not possible. We still need the last mile of the old network for this the NBN, because it's a fibre to the node. There are some areas where we're doing fibre to the premise, but we're still relying on some parts of the copper. Now, to try and dismantle the old network and then rejig it to the new network and still have it running parallel, it's just impossible.
Now, Optus, in its submission, has said that regulatory arrangement should be future-proofed by ensuring that the proposed model will also apply to migration by the owner of the NBN, so I guess in this case it could be Telstra, to take it to a fibre-to-the-home solution. How does Telstra feel about that?
We've always said, and we are doing this, where possible, we are investing in fibre to the home. We've got greenfield sites that we are already doing that. That is ultimately what we want. It is, but in some areas it's going to work. As I said, in the greenfield sites where developers are already working with Telstra to ensure that that happens. But in some of the rural areas it makes it a little bit harder. The costs go up dramatically when you start talking about a national fibre to the home network. It really does increase it. So what we have said, our plan will always be, and we've had a plan since 2005 to build a fibre to the node network for Australia.
One of the other things you have in your submission is that unnecessary regulation aimed at legacy networks should be removed. What is that specifically?
See, what we want to do is ensure that we have the tools to us that enable us to keep going with further developments as we actually build this network and build it out. What others want, and Optus have said this very, very plainly in their submission, their design is purely just to break up Telstra. They're not there about planning for the next generation of technology. Their plan is not about delivering a fibre to the node network for Australia. They've publicly said it today that all they want to do is break up Telstra.
Well, I don't know if they said that they want to break up Telstra, but they are concerned about the level or the decreased level of competition if Telstra is able to build and run, in essence, the national broadband network. I mean, why couldn't there be some sort of separation, basics?
Well, because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. We've had 5 international experts, 2 of which, the ACCC, who are no friend of Telstra's, are flying in to speak at their special regulatory summit, who agree with us that when you're talking about a new network, the new future technology network an NBN will be, you do not have a separation of a company to deliver that will not work. It decreases the chances of investment. It means duplication of costs. And Telstra has just said very clearly, if that is on the agenda, then we are not going to be part of this process.
Now, Telstra is saying it's calling it the biggest infrastructure build ever undertaken in Australia. Where to from here for Telstra? What do you think will happen after these government...
This will be the most enriching opportunity for Australia. I mean, you think about what we can deliver for medicine. It means that we can actually deliver services to help people stay in their homes longer, especially the aged care, for our education, for small businesses. I mean, this will enable small businesses to compete on the international stage without having to come to the CBD. It means that places like Orange and Lismore will be able to do the sort of things that we can do now in the CBD because we have the sort of networks in the business sort of big end of town. I mean, this is really be an enabler of the Australian economy. Just today, the Minister released a report saying that mobile 3G networks have been able to give productivity gains to Australia in the billions of dollars. Now, imagine if we had that sort of investment in the fixed line, we will be able to see even more. Now, can I just say the reason why you're having that sort of investment in mobile is quite simple, because the regulator, the ACCC, doesn't have its hands on it. It's an unregulated space compared to what is regulated in the fixed line area. And what we see in mobile phones is innovation, competition, and we're seeing Australia leading the world in mobile technology.
So just let me get this straight. If Telstra does fundamentally believe that there needs to be a national broadband network, for all of the aforementioned reasons, for education, for business, etc. But if you don't get it your way, then you will be prepared to completely walk away?
This is a massive investment in billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. And we've got to ensure, we have to ensure to our shareholders that they're going to get a return for investment. Anyone building this is going to have to get a return on their investment. It's not going to be owned and operated by the government. It's going to need private sector spend. And anyone, whether it be Telstra, whether it be any other bidders, they will have to get a return.
Just a bit of breaking news before we go to the break. We found out that the UK government is probing whether speculators are driving up the price of oil. And the UK PM, Gordon Brown, says that if it finds that speculators are in fact driving up the price of oil, it will act. So we will continue to bring the details on that story throughout the evening. After the break, though, more of today's top stories, including a live interview with Lend Lease on its latest secret purchase. Stay with us.